Good afternoon. Welcome back to live shopping here at Highlight Crafts. My name is Mel. I'm going to take you through this next hour, all things scan and cut. And we've had something else added to the show. I was like, what's David doing getting brand new stencil SVGs and I haven't got them on my show? Rude. Anyway, I've sorted that out. Welcome back. We've got a lovely Jane on cameras.
Hello.
We've got Sam whee, in the driving seat. Love it when Sam comes. You come for a little visit, don't you?
Yeah,
and then emigrate again. Come for a break. Yeah, literally. You're not kidding either, are you? No, I know. The warehouse is a little bit bonkers at the moment. It's very, very busy. So yeah, welcome to live shopping. We do 3 hours on a Tuesday on ScanNCut, 8, 12 and 6. Try and do different things in each show. I'm going to finish off that frame as soon as I went away from you guys this morning. That frame just slotted together perfectly. I think it was a bit camera shy. So we're going to finish that off. Then I'm going to show you the digital stamp thing again in Minecraft Studio, because we've had people ask, say, I couldn't watch this morning, can you show us again? Absolutely. And then if we get time, we're going to make one of the little gnomes, and if we don't, we'll do it tonight at 6 o'clock. And I am really hoping, you haven't had a delivery this morning off Terry Stewart, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm hoping he's going to bring the next lot of posh card so we can get it on the show tonight at 6 o'clock. Keep everything crossed. Everybody cross everything. Not everything, but you know what I mean. Right, we need to put this on charge, darling, because it's dying on me. Sam will shout out if you've got any questions. Right, let's talk you through what live shopping is all about, how to shop, where to watch us, and then we can get on with everything, can't we? So first of all, you can watch us on YouTube. So if you want to put us on your TV, you can absolutely do that. You can also watch us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, which is highlightcrafts.com. Now, to shop with us on either of our social platforms, we're going to show you a product. That product will have a code, and all you need to do to purchase that is type the word shop and then that code into the comments underneath the video, and that will automatically put that product into a basket for you. Then we're going to send you a direct message. In that message, you'll find a link. Click the link. That will take you to our website where you need to log into your account. That's really important before checking out your baskets. Now, if you would prefer to shop directly on the website, you don't need the shop codes for that. Just press play, and as soon as that show goes live, all the products in that show will appear down the right hand side of your screen. You then just select the ones that you want to buy, and they'll go into a little red shopping bag that will appear at the top of your screen. And when you're ready to log in and check out, click on that, and that will take you through that process. Now, why is it so important? It's important that when you shop with us here at Highlight Crafts, you open an account first, okay? Because it's free to do so, which to be fair is exactly what you would expect, but the benefits of opening an account come with the fact that we automatically and for free make you a member of Club Highlight. And that means that you're going to get extra discount on every single order that you place with it. It doesn't matter whether it's a Black Friday deal, whether it's from Outlet, whether it's already slashed in price. It makes no difference. You will get that discount on every single order that you place with us. You're then also going to get 5 loyalty points back for every £1 that you spend. They'll be allocated to your account in about 2 weeks' time, because we need to make sure that you're keeping the product before we allocate your points. And also on a basket spend over £35, we're going to pay your postage for you so that you can take that money and put it towards something else crafty, which is always good, isn't it? Right, I'd like to say a big warm welcome to the ScanNCut family. All those of you that have bought the Black Friday deal today, and there's been quite a lot of you bought that, so congratulations. Welcome to the brother family. I'm very happy to be holding your hand and taking you on that journey. Only if you want me to. I don't have to if you don't want me to. You can just press the buttons and see what happens. But it's always quite nice to have somebody who kind of knows what they're talking about. Right, I'm going to start with that deal, because this is the best deal we have ever done. Actually, I'm going to rephrase this. This is the best deal that I have ever brought you on any channel over the past 10 years on ScanNCut. Well, it'll be 10 years in January. Best ever, okay? So this is our Black Friday deal for 2025. It will stay live until 1 minute to midnight on Monday, because it's Cyber Monday. But you do not want to miss out on this deal. Whether you're upgrading for a CM, whether you're going straight in on an STX, please do not miss out on this deal. So let me tell you about the machine first of all. This is the only cutting machine in the world that has a scanner built in. Okay, so there is a 300 DPI brother scanner built in to the STX 1200. Okay, when you scan to USB, it is a 600 DPI scanner. So if you're scanning photographs, paperwork, etc., it scans at 600 DPI. When you're scanning to cut something out, it scans at 300 DPI. Inside the box, you will get 2 mats, a low tack mat and a standard mat. Now they're $24.75 each. Those mats won't last as long as you want them to, so buy yourself a bottle of stencil glue from Pinflair, not the stencil spray from Cadence, please, the stencil glue from Pinflair. And then when you go on our YouTube channel, there's a video there showing you how to retack your mat. That will make it last 100 times longer than it would have done originally. It's a brilliant product. So you get your 2 mats. You also get your auto blade. Now, there are different machines out there that say they've got an auto blade. Actually, when it comes down to it, it's a drop-down menu, and you select your product from that drop-down menu. Now, I don't know what lightweight paper means to somebody in a different country. I don't know what that means. I know that when I put that paper into my ScanNCut, that blade looks at the depth of the material and then goes on and adjusts automatically its pressure and its blade depth to cut that cleanly. It is brilliant. On top of that, you're also going to get your fabric auto blade. I have cut the chandelier from Tattered Lace out of fabric. I stabilised it with heat and bond first, took the paper backing off, put it onto my mat, and you couldn't even see where it had cut. It was that good. It's brilliant on fabric. You're also going to get your pen holder, and then you get these 2 pens. One is air erasable, one is water soluble. Now there are 100 quilt blocks pre-installed inside this machine's memory. So on a Monday, you might want to pick a block and go, I want to do that in 6 inches. So you set it to 6 inches. You set your seam allowance in your settings to 1/4 of an inch. You can then scan in that fabric on one of your mats. It will draw the original shape because it'll break it all down for you. You don't need to do any measuring, any working out. It does it for you automatically. It'll flip the shapes if they need flipping. You can then scan in your fabric, ask it to draw those shapes where you've placed them, and then it will cut it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's phenomenal. So you're going to get your pens to be able to do that. You're also going to get your 6 drawing pens, and you're also going to get your stylus and your spatula. I can't find my stylus anywhere. I have no idea where I've put it. It's not with the vinyl blade because I thought I'd lost that, and then I remembered I'd tidied up my trolley and it's on there.
Not in your pouch?
No. No.
I'll find it.
No, it's not in here. No, it's not. It's not. I don't know where I've put it. Right. On top of that, you're going to get a roll of high contact adhesive sheet. Now, they recommend you put that on a low tack mat if you're going to cut unstabilised fabric. Personally, I don't rate it. I'm going to be really honest. Well, I always am honest with you, aren't I? I would just make your mat nice and sticky with stencil glue and then put your fabric back directly on. I don't think you need the high contact adhesive sheet. You might if you're cutting like thick fabrics, but I've never used it because it cuts into it and then you've got to take the pieces and stick them back in. It's just a faff. Just saying. Right, inside the machine's memory, 1,303 images, icons, shapes, phrases, borders, all sorts of different stuff, applique designs. There is tons of content inside here. I looked at another machine the other day, the spec of it, you got 16 shapes. And then it was a subscription every month. I was like, not in a million years. Honestly, the things you could lock yourself away for 2 years with this machine, never use any other SVG files, just use the ones that are pre-installed and come up with all sorts of different things. You also get 17 full fonts, so uppercase, lowercase, numbers and punctuation. And you also get that 100 quilt blocks that we've talked about. Now, normally the recommended retail price from Brother on this spec is $599.99. So straight away we've knocked off £150 for you, which is brilliant. Then we're also going to give you the Tattered Lace subscription. All 24 issues, this is one of them printed out. You're getting education, because Amanda filmed every single one of these cards, not necessarily from start to finish, but certainly the parts that you needed to learn. You get every single cutting file, backing paper, drawing file, envelope, all sorts of different things in here that you can cut on your ScanNCut, and you're getting 24 issues of that. If we'd sold that at full price on Create and Craft, it would have been £720 because it was £30 an issue. We did a deal, obviously, because that's what we did, but that's the value. Imagine being able to turn to any edition of those 24 and make every single project from scratch. How exciting is that? Brilliant, isn't it? But that wasn't quite good enough. So what we did was also included lessons 1 to 3 in the ScanNCut club. So if you haven't joined the club yet and you fancy a taster, you're going to get the first 3 lessons included. They're already filmed. You can go ahead and start playing around with them if you want. We do film it, so it will stay on your account, so you'll be able to watch it back time and time and time again. And then that wasn't good enough either. So we've added a £50 voucher to this deal that you can spend on downloads. I mean, that is amazing. £50 that you can go and spend on our website on whichever downloads you want, because as a crafter, I know that you want to choose, right? You don't want to be going, right, you're getting this, this and this. You want to choose what files you get. We're doing that for you as well. By far the best ever deal. Now, I've done my maths. You know, like my crafty maths, don't you? So £449.99 has already given you a £150 saving. Then you're going to get £22.50 knocked off that price if you're in tier 1 of our club, and I've done it on tier 1 because that's the smallest discount. Once you spent £500, you'll go up to tier 2 where you get 10% discount. That's not going to take you very long if you're buying one of these today, is it? Then you're going to get £21.37 worth of points credited back to your account in a couple of weeks' time that you can spend on files, accessories, whatever you fancy. The club was worth £30. The voucher is £50. I'm going to do the tattered lace at $39.99 instead of $720 because that's what we've been doing recently. And that, after you've taken everything off with that, it's going to cost you £307.49 for an SDX 1200. Jane's eyes nearly popped out her head and she's like, no, I'm not having one. I'm like, yes, you are. You know you are. Resistance is futile. That's your Black Friday deal. Don't miss out on it. Now, I know there's been quite a lot of you buying them in between shows on the website. So, very exciting times. Right, let's talk about some of those files that you might want to spend your voucher on. How exciting is that? I know, right? Right, first of all, Whispers of Wood, one of my favourite collections that we've done this year. It's absolutely delightful. So, we've got our bunnies in here. Have you seen these, Sam?
Yeah.
Well, they're lovely.
That's cool. Have you seen stickers?
Yes.
Oh,
I
don't
know.
mind them printed.
Yeah, she likes printing those. Right, we've got Snorbert. Look at him. Look at his little face. You can just by the look on his face, you can see him dreaming, can't you, when his nose twitches and his ears go. And then his back leg starts going because he's been chasing a rabbit, right? And the dream, oh, I can't show this. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my goodness me. Look at him on his own little posh bed.
Rabbit bed.
How gorgeous is he? That's Sam's house rabbit. Charlie.
Charlie boy.
Charlie. Lovely, isn't he? Right, so you've got Snorbert. You're also going to get your poppy bank. So you've got all of these fabulous poppies. You're then also going to get your gathering. So you've got your smaller bunnies in here as well. I love Cheeks. His face, look at that little face. He's like, oh, oh. I have a whole story going on in a minute. I'll tell you about when we get to demo. We've then got Wildflower Way. Now I love these because we give you the scene and then all of these pieces you cut out of one of your reflections and you lay them over and build them up into a picture, which is what we started to do this morning. We've then got You've Got Mail. I love that image. I think it's absolutely fabulous. So You've Got Mail. You've then got Bells in Bloom with your little blue bells. You've got Bluebell Bound. I love rickety fences. I love it when we do a fence. It's brilliant because you can come up with all these different stories in your head. Love it. We've got Cheeks. I don't know why, but I want to call him Cheeks McGraw. I don't know. And I want him to be the baddie in something like, oh, what's it called? Now I've forgotten. I can't remember what I was talking about. What was it called? That film. It's like a kids' film about gangsters. Kid one. With all the pop guns and...
I know the one you mean, I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. I can even hear the music. Oh, what's it called? Comments. Yes. It'll come back to. I'm not giving you much help though, am I really? Well, that's going to really annoy me now. It'll come back to me probably in the middle of a demo. So if you hear me shout random words, you know why. We've got Cheeks, we've got Honey, and we've got Riverside Blooms. So a second scene. We couldn't decide which one we like best, so we gave you both, which is fantastic, isn't it? Bugsy Malone. See, I told you to come to me. As soon as somebody writes in, Bugsy Malone. I want to call him Cheeks McGraw because he looks like he's going to be a right. It looks like really cute, but don't make him angry. Yeah. You won't like him when he's angry, like the Hulk. Right, so you're getting that. I know, random. Try living with this brain.
Oh, everybody's saying it now.
Bugsy Malone. Thank you, everybody. I love you all. That would have driven me mad. And I can hear the music as well, which is more annoying. Right, now then, poppies. You've got them in different colours, facing in different directions, which is lovely. So you can build a whole plethora of your poppies. You've got mail in 2 different colourways and broken down without the foliage. So if you wanted to make it Christmas, just say it. Oh, you know, it'd be lovely with that. You know, the little girl with the post with a mail. Oh, that'd be really cute with that, wouldn't it? Like that. And then we've broken all the florals down for you as well. You're then going to get all of these. Look at that little face. He's lovely, isn't he? I know it's only a picture, but it's gorgeous. And then Honey. Honey's like, wasn't me, didn't do it. Nope, don't look in my direction. I didn't do it, it was Cheeks. Cheeks is going, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? It wasn't me. And Snowbit's going, ha ha ha, they think I'm asleep, but it was me all along. Right, you've got all of these fabulous elements. Then you're going to get your relevant reflections because remember now we also give you that foil positioning guide. Then you're going to get your digistamps. Now, game changer today, Sam. I'm going to show you game changer. So you're going to get all your digistamps. I'm going to show you that when we go over to demo. Amazing. And then you're going to get all your scenes. So you've got your different scenes in here from right inside the woodland going along that beautiful path. Through that gate at the end. I mean, the stories you could tell with that, fabulous. And then you're also going to get your overlays, which will work in Minecraft Studio. And then you're also going to get your backgrounds. I love this rust. I think that's fabulous, that corrugated metal with the rust on. And then the softness of the hydrangea. Talk about opposite ends of the spectrum. This is fabulous. Right, if you want this, Shop Digital, $24.99 is going to get you that little lot. Don't miss out on that. It is one. It is. I think it's beautiful. I've had my Christmas thing now. I'm like, I'm ready for this. back again, please, now. So that's what we've done. Right, let's talk to you about some card shapes, shall we? Because we bought you these ones before, but I wanted to bring them back because not everybody can watch every show. These are my favourite ones so far. So you're going to get the files and the matte layers to be able to make these. How cool is that? Look at that. This is brilliant if you're giving gift cards at Christmas, because you could actually attach it onto there if you wanted to, and then when they'll open the card, they'll go, oh yeah, nice card, and then the gift voucher will be on there. I think that's a great shout. You're going to get that one. You're also going to get your K card, which opens and stands like that. How lovely is that? It's gorgeous, isn't it? I really like these shape cards. Then you've got your star book. Remember making these without SVG files, it used to take forever. Look at that little lot. Isn't that cool? I think this is a really nice like little brag book for a nana, because you could put photographs in here, new grandchildren, new pets, etc, etc. So you've got that one in there as well. And then I love this one too, your secret, bear with, secret slider. Look at that. And they all come with instructions on the web, on the product on the website. So make sure that you download the instructions. They're super easy to put together. But I just wanted to bring those back because I know that a lot of people missed out on them, and I think that, well, they're my favourites anyway. Right, shop bundle, $14.99. Now then, look at these little characters here. So last week when we were due to launch the Glowforge, which has just been on, Stephanie was doing a painting show in the morning, and she had this little character and she painted him onto a piece of fabric, and I was like, please can we have them as SVG files? So we did them. Now there's a little bit more work to do, but it's called crafting. That's why you watch us in the first place, right? So we might start it tonight, or we might save it till 6 o'clock tonight, but I'm going to do one from scratch, step by step, so you can see exactly what you want to do. And if you want to, once you've cut all the pieces into individual elements, you can scan them in and then create a cutting file for all the elements, okay? But I wanted to show you how paper piecing works. So shop characters, $9.99 will get you the files for all of those, all 5. You could just draw them and colour them if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. So shop characters with an S, $9.99. Now, these are the new ones that we've just had added. Now, they're called stencil designs in inverted commas because we sold them as physical stencils. These are SVG files, so you can draw them, you can foil them, you can emboss them on your parchment. You could paper pierce some of these as well, which would look fabulous. But not only that, you can get into the nitty gritty of them, and you can take all those files and make something completely different. So shop Christmas is going to get you all 6 for $14.99. Now you can also get the embossing folders or embossing stencils for this. So as a ScanNCut user, I will be buying this because I can cut my own and I can scale it up and scale it down. I can get that Christmas tree and that jumper and do something completely different with it. But when it comes to the embossing ones, I would buy those as a physical product, because it's not necessarily about the thickness. Well, it is about the thickness of that product, but as far as ScanNCut is concerned, it's about the density of that product. So it can't cut that thicker material. It tries, and it really tries, and eventually it just comes up with a message that says this material is too thick. It's not the thickness, it's the density of it. So if you want your stencils to match your embossing, then go for the embossing ones. And I have to say, they emboss beautifully. Absolutely beautifully through your Pro Coat with your rubber mat. Shop Christmas, $14.99. Right, let's talk foils, shall we? Because we bring you the foiling starter kit, and we don't very often have foils in stock that work perfectly with it. Well, today we do. So first of all, you've got Shop Classic. This is my favourite set. Every single project that I did last year with the foiling pen was done with this set, because it was the only one we had in stock. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. You've got your silver, your copper, your deep dark, like an espresso coffee, like a dark chocolate. You've then got your bronze in there, and you've got a gold. Now there's 3 meters on each roll, so you're getting 15 meters on here. Now remember, all of those detailed designs that you get now as part of your SVG files, you can use to foil. So use the detailed designs, it has a little cross in one of the corners with it, you group it together, you position it over your reflection using the cross, and then it will foil it for you. It's brilliant, honestly, absolutely fabulous. So if you want those, Shop Classic, $24.99. Remember, all these prices are before your club discount and your points. Then we've got Intense. So you've got a black foil in here. You've also got a lovely bright Christmas red, a Christmas green, a pink, a blue and a silver. Now these have 1.3 meters on, so you're getting 7.8 meters across those colours. Shop Intense, $19.99. If you want these colours with your rainbows and your holographics in here, you've also got a pink, a champagne, a gold and a copper. Shop Glow, $19.99 will get you those. Scrapers have gone, unless we've had any bounce back, have we, Sam?
No, they're all allocated.
All allocated. Now then, let's talk USB, shall we? Yes, it does work on the ScanNCut, absolutely. Diane came down, plugged it in and it opened up, so we're good. We've been bringing you blank USBs for quite a while now. We started with 4 gig, that wasn't enough, so we went to 8 gig, that wasn't enough, we're now on 16 gig. Now, if you're buying,
Flying out of the warehouse.
I bet they're flying out of the warehouse. I'm not surprised at that price. This is cracking. Now, not all USBs work in your ScanNCut, okay? We know that these do. So when we used to have USBs written and we used to sell you the files on a USB, these are the USBs that we used to use. 16 gig is going to store a lot of information. Now, what I would do is when you buy SVG files, take them into Canvas Workspace and title them so that you know what's what, okay? Because 16 gig is a lot of storage space, so you're going to get a lot on here. Now, when you download that after you've titled it, don't send it wirelessly, download it to your computer and then send it from your computer to your USB, because that way it keeps the title. If you send it wirelessly, it deletes the title, so keep it. But I've started titling a lot of mine now. So if you want that, Shop USB, $12.99. You've heard Sam, our warehouse manager, they're flying out. Don't miss out, she's just done that, flying out. You have to make that noise as well, that. There you go. Now then, let's talk vinyl, shall we? Because David embossed this earlier on. We got asked if you could emboss vinyl, and my word, yes you can. Now, even taking the backing of this vinyl, after it had been embossed, was easy and it held its form. If you don't want to take the backing off, you don't have to, but it looks like faux leather. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Now this deal is only going to be on as long as we have stock, and it's been flying out. I can't believe we're doing this price, but anyway, you're getting a benefit of it. So you're going to get 15 sheets of your black 12 by 12 chalkboard black. So it's a matte finish vinyl for your ScanNCut, right? But you know, and then you're also going to get a 12 by 12 sheet of the transfer tape, which is absolutely fabulous. But you're not getting one pack today. We're going to give you 2. Because they're on a buy one, well, they're not, they're better than buy one, get one free, because it should be $39.98. You've got a £30 saving bar a penny on this. You could buy your Whispers of in the Wood for that, right? So $9.99, Shop Black is going to get you both of those. That, my friends, brilliant. If you get a chance tonight at 6 o'clock, I'll show you vinyl on the ScanNCut. It'll blow your mind. It's amazing. Now, something else that we use the embossing on was this. Now, I honestly, people roll their eyes at me because I am super fussy about the products that I have on my shows. And we tested so many different vellums, parchments, etc. when we were looking for one that worked brilliantly on your ScanNCut, and this is the one. So it's 280 GSM. Which means that if you keep your pressure settings when you're doing your embossing on your parchment low, so -1 for the first pass, 0 for the second, and 1 for the third, that ball tool will not go through that vellum. because you don't want it going through and damaging that mat underneath. It won't happen. Also, you can take your water-based mediums, and David and I have got a show coming up next where all the pens are half price, at least. You can use those on the back of there, but it also embosses beautifully with your embossing stencils. So if you want that, there's 6 sheets, 280 GSM, shop vellum, $12.99. Right, come on, let's go and do some crafting, shall we? So earlier on, we started to make this little scene with our concertina book. And we got to a stage where I was struggling to get the lid on. And of course, as soon as the cameras go off, the lid goes on perfectly. But what we've done is we've taken this scene. So this is from Whispers of Wood. So that was the scene. I then created my perforation line file using that. Showed you how to do that in the 8 o'clock hour. So you can always go back and watch that again. And then one of the reflections cuts all of these pieces out. And they then just position back in place. I'm just trying to find one that I haven't reversed. No, that's a reversed one as well. Of course it is, Melanie. Here we go. So this, for example, will lay over there and line up perfectly with that pattern underneath it. So rather than doing those flat, what we did was start to put them inside this tunnel here, which is lovely, isn't it? You see how I've got all the different elements coming from the back forward. So what we need to do now is create a back for this and also a frame, right? Because it looks a bit tatty at the moment. In fact, it looks awful at the moment, in my opinion. Got to be right. So ruler. Now, this is where having all those shapes inside your machine's memory really comes into its own. So this is 160. So all I'm going to do is select a square from the basic shapes. You have to come in, Jane, then you can see on this screen. I'm going to select a square from the basic shapes. We're going to separate the height and the width, and we're going to make it 160 high, like that, and measure this. Don't do this before you build it. Do it and then measure it. I'm going to make that 111 wide. And the reason for that is it depends how tight you get those dovetail joints. So don't preempt it. Just make sure that you are measuring it once you've done it. And it's the same for the cover. If you decide to put a cover on it, it's the same for that. Right, so that's for the back. What I want is I want one for the front. So I'm going to duplicate it. So I've got 2. And I want that to have a, let's have a think about it, 20mm frame. Do I want 20mm? 15mm frame. So I've got options. Oh, that's weird. This machine needs an update. There's no offset on there. How funny. Okay. Right, so we're going to duplicate that again and make 2. And then we're going to make that smaller. So I'm going to keep it, I'm not going to separate the height and the width this time. I'm just going to take that height down by 20. Is that enough? Maybe I might just drop it down another few. There, that's better. Right, so now we're going to put that inside there. So we're going to multiple select part of the mat. We're going to drag over the one that we don't want. And we're going to align this centrally vertically and centrally horizontally. Okay, so let me just check that because that doesn't look quite right size-wise. Let's have a look. Right, 134 by 93. Right, the other way to do it, I'm going to do it this way actually because it looks more accurate. I'm going to put that in the bin. We're going to duplicate this so it's the same size, and I'm going to take it down by, let's have a think. So I want 15 mil on either side, so I need to drop it by 30. So if I take the height down to 130 and the width down to 81, that'll be a bit more accurate. I wonder why that hasn't got that thing on. It's bugging me now, that. I have to work that out after. Then we're going to multiple select part of the mat, drag over this, and we're going to align both of those. So align it centrally vertically and centrally horizontally. That's better. And then we can group that together. All right, so now we're going to cut these two out of a piece of craft card. Now, another reason why you might want a scanner in a cutting machine is so that you can scan in your cardstock and see exactly where all the pieces are going to go, because you don't have to just use 12 by 12 card. You could fill this sheet with lots of different pieces of card in different colours, etc., and cut them all out in one go. So to scan this in so that you can make sure that it's going to cut correctly, we're going to load the mat in. We're going to scan this in so it'll bring up a full colour image on your screen, and to do that you're going to scan from there. So you're just going to press start, and then it'll cut those out, and then we can finish that off, and then we can decorate it up with all our little characters and our fence. So we'll just wait till this is doing this. I'll get it cut in, and then I'm going to show you the digi-stamp thing, because that for me, well, Marina Bowen, if she's watching in this hour, said game changer. I know. Right, now then, you can see I've got both shapes and they're within the constraints of that card. I think the screen's frozen, Sam. If you want to make the background darker, go into your spanner, click on lighter and press OK. So now you can see that's perfect, right? Now, if you want to, you could then scan in the waste bit that's left over so you don't throw anything away. And then you can place pieces exactly where you want them to be. So we're just going to press please select, cut and start. Now, for those of you that have bought an SDX this morning, watch this. This comes along and it looks at the material, it looks at it off the mat, it then comes onto the material, looks at it again, then it will go down and adjust itself automatically. If it thinks it needs to cut it more than once, going a little bit deeper each time, it will do that for you. And has it decided? Yeah, it's decided it wants to do it again. So it goes back and looks at it again, drops down a little bit further with that blade and cuts it out. Trust the process, okay? You will get used to it after a while, and you'll be able to see, you'll be able to hear it when it's cut. Now I think it might go around a third time. Nope, it's decided it's done. Let's check. Always check before you take it off, because you don't want to take it off and then go, oh, blinking heck, it hasn't cut right through. So before you unload your mat, it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes with certain cards, a certain card can be a bit tricky. So now I've got the back for here, which is going to fit perfectly. Look at that. And then I've also got the front, which is going to cover up all those workings, and then we can start to build this up. So we're going to do that in a minute. What I'm going to do now is show you these digi-stamps, because this is brilliant. So Stephanie, crafting as long as I have, and I took the images in and I said to her, look at these, I coloured these this morning. She went, no, you did you? I was like, She was like, no, you didn't. I went, no, I didn't, but it looks like the stamps, doesn't it? She went, yeah. I'm going to have a look at this. This is really exciting. So we're going to go into our files first of all, and we're going to work with our scene building to start with. So I'm going to bring on, let's bring on cheeks, because I love cheeks. Look at that face. Don't resize it yet, okay? Then we're going to bring in the fence. So we're going to drag all of these different pieces on here. We're going to bring in, let's have a look at this. We do I want Snorbert, and I want that poppy, and I want that poppy. I think that's in, do I need anything else? Yes, I want the mailbox. I do want the mailbox because I love this. I'll bring on that. Right, now then. So this is going to make a really pretty picture, but what if we could make it look like it was stamped and then print it off and then cut them out? Well, we can do that. So if we go into our digi-stamps and we bring in Bluebell Bound, first of all, and we're going to position that over the top of that fence. Look how it changes that to make it look like it's been stamped. This is brilliant. So you've got your foiling detail designs that we're bringing you now. Now you're going to get your line art. We'll bring in cheeks, and that lays right over the top and adds in that detail. Look how fabulous that is. Now it's different detail to your foiling. Okay, your foiling has much more detail. This is about it looking stamped and looking like you've coloured it in, because that is fabulous. And then all you need to do is group that together, and then you can scale both of them together. So let's do the same with these poppies. So I want that poppy, first of all. We're going to lay that over the top. Now, Stephanie was so happy with this. She's going to make it so that when we design going forward for die cutters, there will be a sheet like this that you can use so that you don't have to, because the dies don't necessarily work with the digi-stamps, but she's going to make that happen for you. With ScanNCut, you've got it made because you're just using the Minecraft Studio files. You're not die cutting it out. We're going to scan it in to cut it out. So we're going to go up like that. I'm going to grab both of those together and group that. And then we're going to do the mailbox. Don't resize them first. All right, that's the key. Don't resize them. Bring them on. Join them up, lay them over the top of each other. Now, the other thing that this does, which is absolutely brilliant, is it gives you a solid line all the way around the outside edge. So where you could have scanned that in, where the contrast wasn't the best, and it maybe couldn't find it, now it can, which is great. Right, now then, let's bring in Snorbert, because he's the last one, and then we'll build up the picture. And this would have looked lovely just as it is, but with those detail lines, that's an absolute game changer for me. I think that's brilliant, because now you don't need to stamp and colour, because it looks like you've done it even when you haven't. It's super clever, like really clever. Now I'm just going to zoom out a little bit further so I can grab all of that fence and group that together. So now we can start to resize. So let's scale this down so it fits on that A4 sheet. So this could be your card front. I'm not going to put a scene behind it because I think this artwork is lovely as it is. I'm going to put that at the front, and I'm going to make that a little bit smaller because it's too big right now for that post. So that's going to go there. I'm going to bring Snorbert in, and I'm going to have him just snuggling in there. Now if I send him backwards one layer by going to order and send backwards one layer, he's going to go behind that post, so he's snuggled in by the post. We're then going to bring Cheeks in, and Cheeks is in a dilemma now because he's going, should I wake him, shouldn't I wake him, should I wake him, shouldn't I wake him? Oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. He's going to be standing on that fence post there, umming and ahhing, deciding whether he needs to wake him up or whether it's like when you have a child in a car, and you pull up on the drive and you're like, do I leave them? Do I disturb them? Do I leave them? Do I disturb them? And then we're going to bring the poppies in over here. So I'm going to make that a little bit smaller there, and then I'm going to bring this one in, and I quite like that quite tall actually. I think it's quite cool to have it slightly out of scale. And then you've got your picture. Now if you group all of that together and print it off, and then go into your effects and turn that brightness right over to the left, it turns it black. There's your cutting file for your image. So you would then scan that, print that off in black, scan it in, ScanNCut data, choose your middle option so it finds either side of every line, so it does all the landlocked areas, scan the coloured one in that you had, that one in, and then it will cut that out. But that, now I'm just going to zoom in for you, that looks like you've stamped it and coloured it in because it's got all of that detail line in there. How fabulous is that? I love that. I think it's absolutely amazing. Now then, while we're sticking this together, we're going to scan a sheet in so I can show you how you cut them out. So got my mat, and I've got this. Now this isn't the exact one, I just did some quick stuff. And always another tip for you, because I didn't do this either, is always zoom right in on Minecraft Studio, because I've got a slight white echo going on over there. So zoom in, take your time. Obviously we don't have the time to take a time when we're doing a show because it's just bonkers busy, isn't it? But this now, so I'm interested to see what it does with Snorbert here, because there are some gaps in between those lines. So let's see what it does, because this might be a good way of showing you what to do if it doesn't find it. But we'll try, won't we? Let's load it in. I used the darker one before, so it didn't make much of a difference, but where you've got that pale bit there, let's see what it does. So let's scan, and we're scanning to directly cut out those images, and we're using the machine to convert it to a file. I just work in grayscale and then press start. If you work in colour, sometimes it can look for too many colours at once and not find the ones that you need. Now then, somewhere on here I have glue. I have glue. So while that's doing that, this is what I love about ScanNCut, you know. While it's doing its thing, you're crafting. Right, let's see, it's going to recognise it now, so it's having a look at it. Let's see what it's found. Right, can you see there? If I zoom in now, that's a prime example. If you ever get that, where it's gone inside and found that detail, that's because it can't see the outside edge as a complete shape. So what we do with that is we unload that mat and we take a pen, and it doesn't need to be a thick black pen, and we join up the lines. So there is where it's struggling. There's a little bit there. We're all right down there. We're just going to go around because it needs a shape, not just lines. We're good up there. Might thicken that one up a little bit, and then let's see what we get this time. It's there, and I'm just going to fill that bit in as well, so that's a continual line, and then we're just going to join those little bits up there. Okay, let's see what we get now. That needs lining up to that, and that needs lining up to that. It needs a shape, not just a line. So make sure that you're filling in those little bits. If you're ever getting that, that will be why. Okay, I like it. Sometimes it's good to do things like this, just to a reminder, because I do get asked that question quite a bit. Right, so let's rescan this in now. So let's press home and OK. Scan, direct cut, machine, start. Yes, Sam? Question?
Not quite sure who it's from because there's no name.
Okay.
What GSM paper/card are you using for the insert in the book?
140 pure print. Unfortunately, it's out of stock at the moment. We're waiting for it to come back in. Any ideas when, Sam?
I don't actually.
When you look at that, because I ain't got none. I'm starting to panic a bit. Right, can you see now? Right, look now. You see? Just found it. Taking all those little lines away. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay? So I'm going to drag this now up here, making sure that I've got that edge. I'm going to ask it to cut it with a 1mm border because I like that. And the reason that I would do this is because if you want it to look like it's stamped and coloured in, go around the edge where it's white with a very cool grey, and it'll make the image pop. It's something that I always do when I'm stamping. If I'm cutting stuff out, I always ask it to do a border, and then we just press cut and start, and that's it really, and it'll go ahead and cut all those out. Right, while it's doing that, let's stick this book together because I'm determined we're going to get this finished, and then we can do our gnomes tonight, gonks, whatever you want to call them. I don't mind, I just think they're super cute, and it's a really cool little thing to do. I love stuff like that. It takes me back to doing Disney again and all those characters we used to build and all that kind of stuff. I love doing proper crafting. You know, we have to snip in and get bits, and oh, I love it. And then you can scan it in, so you don't have to do it again. Just create your own files. We'll make sure we do a proper full-on demo with that at 6 o'clock tonight, because I think it's going to be really good. And then I'm just going to press that down. And because we've got that nice concertina, to be fair, I would probably normally use my tape doctor tape for that because it'll bond quickly, but this will do for now. And then I'm going to put my frame on now. So I'm putting my frame on now, and then I'm going to build my picture inside, okay? Because I need to know that when I'm building that picture, it's not blocked by the frame. So this is how I do it. You do it your way, doesn't matter, whichever, whatever you prefer, but that now covers up all of those workings. So we're going to press that down, just going to nudge it up a little bit there because it's a little bit, needs a little bit more at that top edge, and then I'm going to press this down, and we're just going to give that a nice press. Well, my ScanNCut does all my cutting out for me. How cool is that, Jen?
That is a bit cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
This is cooler. Ready? Ta-da! Look at that. So your poppy your mailbox, cheeks, and Snorbert. Look at that. Boom. I think the word is for that.
That is a boom.
Right.
Definitely.
That is one reason why you need a scanner inside a cutting machine, right?
That is amazing.
Isn't it?
The detail.
I know.
So cute.
They are cute, aren't they? But that looks completely different. Forget the size to that. Now you've got an option. Look, stamped, not stamped. How cool is that? Right? It's brilliant, isn't it? Right, so I've got my little card now. I'm not going to put a cover around it because I don't want it to be a box. I just want it to be a card. So I brought in the fence, and this is going to go right at the front. Look how that's just changed that completely now. How lovely is that? Right? And then, well, do you know what I might do? I might put one of those really big poppies just down there. Oh, that's nice. Quite like that on there as well. Well, let's have a see what it looks like when I've finished. Do I need some of these in? Yeah, yeah, I do. I quite like that actually. Right, let's do that then. So I'm just going to stick this at the bottom for now because I want to be able to tuck things inside it. But look how that just fits perfectly on the front of that. I can imagine somebody getting this as a card. They'd take it out of the box and they'd be absolutely blown away that you've done this, wouldn't they? Right, I'm going to get cheeks. He's going to go there like this. I'm just going to build it up and then I'll turn it round for you. I'm going to take the mailbox. The mailbox is going to go at the front. I am going to take that massive poppy and put that behind there because I think it's super cute, and I might have it right up at the top and then build the other poppies around it like this. Quite like that. I like that stylized look because it does look like it's been stamped. David and I are bringing you a half price pen show next. So if you do love your colouring in, please get involved in that. Look at this with all these poppies just coming out of here. How beautiful is this? And then I might have one down there. I'm going to make that a bit shorter and just pop that one. In fact, I'm going to pop it behind. No, I'm not. I'm going to pop it down at the bottom like that. And then we're going to have, where's my little one here? Look at him. He's just asleep at the front like that. And they're all looking for him. They've lost him. He's gone off. He's like, I can't be doing with all this running around. I'm still a baby. Let me sleep. I'm tired. Look how lovely that is. And then little Snorbert just asleep at the front. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? And then all you'd need was your little sentiment on there. And that's it. Done. Cool, right? Right, so tonight we're going to make a gnome or a gonk or might do a reindeer actually. Might do Rudolph, who knows? Let me show you what we're going to do. So these were files that we designed for Stephanie's painting, and I went, can we have those as SVG files, please? And they went, yeah, of course you can. $9.99 is going to get you all 5 of these characters. We've got magnetic sheets on a Black Friday deal at the moment where you get 5 packs for the price of 2. I'm going to make these into magnets, because I can just use the back of them and make them into magnets. And I'm going to have them, just decided this, literally just decided this. So I'm going to have them all strung together. Oh no, I don't need to string them because I've got magnets. I'm going to have them on my radiator. And I'm going to put fairy lights. So I'm going to make some fairy lights with wire, put them through, and then have little treats dangling or little stars or snowflakes dangling off. I think they're going to be really cool. And you can use them for your gift tags on your presents. How cool is that? And then they've got like a little finger puppet or a magnet to play with. Love that. Right, I'm going next door now to be with Mr. Waite for an hour. Please join us because it'll be hilarious. Whatever we're doing, it'll be chaos. And then I'll be back at 6 o'clock with you with this. Thank you again for your company. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And have a play with those digistamps. It's good that, isn't it? See you in a bit.